All right. So, hey guys, welcome to our vision board party. I'm excited that you guys are here. We are going to be going over some tips for planning your goals for 2020. It's a new decade, it's a lot of exciting things going on. And it's going to be, wait a minute, why isn't it letting me show the whole thing? Full screen. All right, perfect. It's going to be not just like a new year, but it's a new decade. So that's really cool. And if those of you are sitting there like, oh man, I didn't achieve the goals I wanted to achieve in 2019 and you're feeling kind of bummed out, don't feel bummed out at all. Just look at this as like another opportunity to crush your goals. And kind of look back and see where you can course correct and do better in 2020. Now, this for me personally is the first year since being a coach where I haven't helped our team hit either premier or elite. And at first I was like really butthurt about it, but I'm looking at this as a way to grow and a new opportunity to make it happen for us all together in 2020. And also it's just pushing me to set bigger goals for myself and for the team this year. Because like obviously those of you who know what I went through this year, I mean, not that I planned on not making it happen. I did everything I could, but sometimes we don't hit our goals and we can't get all upset about it. We just have to look at it as an opportunity for growth. So I wanted to go through some things with you guys first and give you some best practices and tips for planning your goals. Because I know like there's a lot of things that you can accomplish in this business. And sometimes it's really hard to focus when you've got a million things you want to do. So what I really hope that by the end of this call, you have a main focus for the year, you have a clear vision for yourself, and you know where you want to be. And then we can go from there and create the action steps to help you achieve that goal. So the first step that is super important before we even start looking into the new year, looking into 2020, is you need to complete your past. You have to look back at 2019 before you can look forward at 2020, and you need to reflect on the year so that you can move forward effectively. You can see maybe where you went wrong. You can see what went well, and you're able to use what you've learned from that to create better goals and take different action steps moving forward. So if you have a piece of paper or you're typing on your computer or anything like that, if you want to write these down as I go through them, if you don't have enough time to really elaborate on them, but you want to go back and do these, I'm going to share the slides in the team page afterwards, so you can do that. But the first thing I want you to do is look at your performance in this business in 2020. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your performance? 1 being like absolute worst, you did nothing, basically. And 10 being the best you could have ever done. You gave it your all every day. You showed up. You could not have given 1.1 more ounce of effort in your business last year. So rate yourself and be honest with yourself. Give yourself some grace. Don't completely tear yourself apart, but just be honest with yourself. You know how you did, you know what you did, you know what you didn't do. And the only person who knows that is yourself. So grade yourself 1 to 10. Then you want to look at what you did accomplish that you are the most proud of. Now, I really want to stretch you guys and help you think a little bit bigger than just business with this one. Maybe you did really awesome in your business. Maybe you increased your income this year. Maybe you rank advanced and you hit that rank you're pushing for this year. Maybe you grew your team and you've got coaches that are just as excited as you are, ready to build. Maybe that's you, but maybe that's not you. And it doesn't mean that you didn't do anything positive this year. Maybe it wasn't an income increase, but maybe you increased yourself. It was an increase in you, in your mindset. Maybe you established a better morning routine, your habits. Maybe you picked up a healthy habit like meditation, yoga. Maybe your attitude changed. Maybe, something a little more related to your personal growth. It doesn't have to be business related. Maybe you removed yourself from a toxic relationship or a work environment that doesn't fulfill your needs or fill your cup. Maybe you got your health in order. Maybe you went plant-based. Like, these are so many things that you could have done in 2019 that you can be proud of. It doesn't always have to be just specifically related to your business. And then on top of that too, it is important to not only just look at what you're proud of, but also what disappointments and regrets did you experience in 2019? Now, I know it's like, well, why would I want to look at that? Why would I want to dwell on the past? Why would I want to look at all the stuff that I didn't do and all the things that went wrong? this is important. This is a really important step, because if you skip out on this, you're going to miss an opportunity to learn and grow. And I really feel that, our biggest regrets, our biggest upsets, our biggest mistakes or things that didn't go our way are the best opportunities that we have to learn and grow from those things. On the bottom, it says our greatest disappointments can be your greatest opportunities for growth and success in the new year. So don't always look at the things that don't go right as a bad thing. Look at them as, a stepping stone, a launching pad for you to move forward into the new year, better than ever, knowing what you know now, how can you do better next year? And then why do you regret those things? Like, why do you feel that way about, maybe missing your rank advancement goal, or, missing your income goal, or whatever it may be for you? And then what were the major lessons that you learned? And a lot of those lessons are going to come directly from those disappointments and regrets that you experienced, which is why it's important to really look at those things. Although they're not always the most exciting, they're painful sometimes to go back and look at. It could be personal things in your life that you've grown in the process of, whether it was divorce or, moving across the country, or just like a big life change you went through. Those helped you grow in some way, and it's really important to identify that. Okay. So something else I want to encourage you guys to do this year is also to create goals based on the realm of possibility. So I don't want you to sit there and just create goals based off of your current circumstances. So what that means is, like, you're sitting there, you're looking at your team, maybe you've got 5 people on your team, and you're like, man, I've only got 5 people on my team. I'm only making like $200 a month with my business. I could never, ever be an elite coach, or I could never get to the point where I have 3 diamonds on my team. Doing that is setting goals based on your current circumstances. So maybe if you're looking at your team, like, I got 5 people, maybe one of my goals, I'll be a diamond by the end of the year. That's possible. But I want you to set your goals based off of the realm of possibility. What is possible for you? What do you want to achieve? Put yourself in that. You've heard fake it till you make it. You've heard about, envisioning yourself being there. These are real things. Like, these are things that actually work. But if you're just setting goals and you're setting them really small because you're just looking at where you are now and you can't see yourself where you want to go, then you're only going to get that far. You're not going to get as far as you can. So you need to look at it from the realm of possibility. What's possible for you and your team this year? I don't want to hear, I'd love to be an elite coach, but I don't have enough people on my team right now, and there's no way that's going to happen. Or I'd love to, hit 5-star diamond in 2020, but I just can't do it because I don't have enough time to dedicate to this business. Like, when you're setting goals like that, you're setting yourself up for failure when you're adding that but blank blah blah blah. So don't do that to yourself. If it's something like, I want to be a 5-star diamond coach, but I'm not dedicated. I am not committed to doing the work it takes to get there, then that's completely valid. Like you are saying, you're not willing to actually do the work, but that's not a goal then for you. That's like something you're not going to do. So you need to set your goals based on what's possible for you, what you're willing to do, the work that you're willing to put in to get to that goal. Because that every goal you have requires work. You can't just set the goal and then say it out loud every day and it's going to happen without you taking action. I do believe in the law of attraction, and I believe in, energies and all that stuff. 100%. It does work, but only if you're backing it up with action. And if you set your goals just based on where you are now, you're just going to create the same results over and over and over again. So maybe you've been a coach for a couple years and you're sitting there and you're like, damn, like I'm in the same spot that I am now that I was last year at this time. Or, I'm sitting here for 2 years and I'm in the same spot, or 3 years and I'm in the same spot. I haven't really moved forward. Perhaps it's because you're not setting your goals based on what's possible. You're setting your goals based on your current circumstances. Because it's just going to be that cycle. You're just going to end up in the same place. At the end of the year, 2020, when we do this call, you don't want to be in the same place. You want to be way further along. 365 days is a long time, and you can do a lot. And also, I want to remind you that your life and your business is a result of your past thoughts, choices, beliefs, negative thoughts. If you have negative thoughts, that's going to create negative results 100% of the time. If your thoughts are positive, and your belief in yourself is there, it's going to create positive results for yourself. And whatever you believe today is going to impact your future. So if you believe today that you can be a 5-star diamond coach by the end of the year, then chances are you're probably going to be there. But if you don't think it's possible at all and you talk negative to yourself and you say it's not going to happen, it's 100% not going to. So you have to think bigger. You have to get out of the past. You have to get out of your head, and you have to set goals based on what's possible. So now that we know how to set the goals, I want you to do a big, massive brain dump. So you can either do this right now as I'm talking, and at least get it started. But this is your starting point. This is really, really important that you don't skip this step. I want you to write down all the things that you want to accomplish in the next 1 to 10 years. 10 sounds like a lot of time, right? In 10 years, I'll be 38. So that's weird to think about 10 years from now. But I want you to write everything down, because when you set 10-year goals and you set, 5-year goals, you're really dreaming big and you're really stretching yourself. And obviously, like some of those goals that we have, we can't accomplish them in 1 year. With the exception of income and rank goals, like rank goals, you can accomplish any rank in this business in a year if you work hard enough at it. Those are like more like your 1-year goals. How much money you want to make this year, what rank you want to be by the end of the year, what you want your team to look like this time next year. Those are 1-year goals. But I also want you to include in that a 10-year span, because having that vision of what you want for yourself and your life is going to help you show up every day in your business this year, because whatever you're doing this year is going to affect what you have in your life 10 years from now. It might not happen, in this year, but it's going to affect you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and all of that. You're setting yourself up right now for the life that you want to have later on. So I want you to think about that. How much money do you want to make this year? What's your income goal? Put a number out there, whatever feels right to you in your heart. It's going to be different for everybody. And don't shoot small, shoot bigger than, what you think you can do, because if you set a bigger goal, you're going to push for that big goal. You're going to get a lot closer to it. And you're like, let's say you want to earn, I don't know, $100,000, right? Let's say that's your income goal. If you're pushing for that, you might not hit 100,000, but you might get 85. But if you only set a goal for 50, you're probably not going to get further than 50. So set a goal a little bit higher a little bit higher than what you're comfortable with, that's going to push you enough so that you achieve, more than what you think you are capable of. I also want you to think about your rank. What rank do you want to be at the end of the year? Is it 5-star? Is it 10-star? Is it, I don't know, premier, 3-star? Like whatever your rank goal is, superstar, diamond, doesn't matter. Whatever you want to achieve, put it out there. Maybe you want to talk on the National Wake Up Call. Maybe you want to speak on stage at Summit, be the leader of a top 100 team, top 50 team, top 10 teams. I don't know. That's up to you. Only you know that. What do you want your team to look like? What do you want your life to look like? In a perfect world, how are you going to spend your time? Where are you going to live? Are you going to have one house? Are you going to have 2 houses? You're going to have a summer home, maybe a lake house. You're going to have a house in the mountains. How do you want to lead your team? How do you want to serve other people? What kind of impact do you want to make? It's not just about like what you want, like material things. It's also, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want to be able to do for your team? Do you want to host a retreat for your team? Do you want to be able to do things like that? Do you want to be able to just pick up and travel across the country and go hang out with one of your coaches for the weekend? Because you have that time freedom. Do you want to have a family? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to have a bunch of dogs, a bunch of cats? Everyone's got their own vision of what their family, or maybe you don't want a family. Like everyone has different picture of what they want. How big of a social media following do you want to grow? Where do you want to travel? Maybe there's some skills that you want to learn. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of hobbies do you want to do regularly? How do you want to be remembered? I'm just like going through this list because I want to kind of jog your brain. How many coaches of yours are going to be at Summit in 2020? How about in 2021? How do you want to look and feel? What projects are you going to create? What, businesses are you going to start? All of these things. Dream huge, okay? Don't leave anything off of this list, because everything on this list like I said, is not going to happen in 1 year, but it could happen year 2, year 5, year 10. And this list is just going to keep growing and growing as you grow as a person. So maybe you wrote some things down while I was chatting. Maybe you're going to do it after the call, but just make sure that you do this step. Then what I want you to do is choose your focus. So this is something that I think is really important to do. I want you to choose your focus for this year. You're going to have this huge list of things that you want to accomplish, but there's got to be that one thing that you know you can knock out this year, that with dedication and hard work and clear vision and clear focus on this one thing, you're going to make it happen this year. So I have a list of examples. Maybe you want to be debt free by the end of the 2020. Maybe you want to pay off all your student loans by that time. Maybe you want to leave your current job. Maybe you want to buy a house, get your dream car, renovate your kitchen, pay for your wedding, maybe take your family on a vacation, become a mom, pay for your kids' college tuition, go back to school. Maybe none of these resonate with you and you've got something else on your heart. Maybe a few of these resonate with you. But I really encourage you to pick one thing that is your main focus for the year from that big list of things. And it's not going to be superstar diamond, and it's not going to be like a rank related goal. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be like something that you want to change in your life that you can't right now. But you know that when you do this work and you grow your business, that what this business can do for you. Because that's what's going to get you to wake up every morning and push play on your workout and show up on your stories and message people when you really don't want to. That one thing is going to make you do it on the days where you'd rather lay in bed and do nothing. Having that clear vision for yourself, your family, whatever that thing is for you this year is going to make you do it on the days where you don't want to. Now, the other thing is, a lot of times we hear people say, well, it's not about the money, it's really not about the money. And it's not, but it also very much is about the money, because all of these things I just showed you, you need money to do these things. It's not that you need to have, it's not that money is your only thing that's important to you. It shouldn't be the only thing that's important to you. It should, you should have values and other things that you, appreciate in life. However, without money, none of this is possible. So it's very much about the money, but only because of what the money allows you to do in your life, not just to have the money. It does no good to just be like, I just want to have all this money with no plan. If you know what you want to do with that money and how it's going to help you and what's going to allow you to do and what it's going to allow you to do for other people, then that's a good goal. That's a clear goal. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to choose the one that says I'm going to buy a house in 2020. I just picked one at random. Okay. That's a financial goal. So that's where your focus is here. Now, how much money would you need to make this happen? You got to figure that out. Depends on what kind of house you want. Depends on if you have a job currently or if this is your only income. I don't know that answer. Only you do. And maybe your goal is not to buy a house. Maybe it's something else, but the process is going to be exactly the same. So let's just say you pick $100,000. That's what you need to achieve the goal that you have for yourself. Now, from there, you have to take that annual goal and break it down. And I just used 100,000 because it's a very simple number because I'm not a math person at all. So your number might be higher, it might be lower. There's no right or wrong number, but this is just, for example's sake, a very easy number to divide by 4. So $100,000, let's say that's your annual goal. Then you're going to break that down by quarter. That means every quarter you want to earn $25,000, which means every month you want to earn $8,333. And then every week your goal is $1,923. Okay. That doesn't mean that's going to happen for you every week. It doesn't mean every single week you're going to be making $1,900. I mean, that would be awesome and ideal. But it just gives you something to work with. It kind of gives you a way to break it down and make it more manageable. Like looking at that big number, 100 grand, like shit, how am I going to earn 100 grand, in 1 year? Looking at that big number is like, wow, that's a lot. That's hard. But when you break that down in your weekly goal, you see that, wow, like it's $1,900 a week. If let's say your annual goal is $50,000, then your weekly goal, you just got to make $800 a week. Is that more manageable? Does that seem a lot more like, okay, I could do that, than just like looking at that big number at the end of the year? So whatever that number is for you, break it down, make it feel more manageable for yourself. And once you have that, you want to look at your priorities. So if your main goal is financial, whatever that thing that you want to do is, you figure out how much money you have to make that possible, then you're going to look at your priorities. What are the things that you really need to focus on in your business? This is how it all comes back to the business, like the actions that you need in order to make that happen. So for the goal of, let's say, earning $100,000 and buying a house, the priorities for that person would be recruit new coaches monthly, help leaders create leaders, and consistently bring in new customers. These are things that create volume. These are things that create income. These are things that create consistency in your business, which generates more volume and more income. So that would be the focus for this person. And hint, hint, for whatever your goal is, this is probably the focus as well. These are the things that are going to create income for you. So once you figure that out, let's say recruit new coaches monthly, give yourself a goal. How many coaches do you want to recruit monthly? Let's say for $100,000, you want to recruit, let's say 10 working coaches, or even like 6 to 8. Give yourself like a range. How many how many star diamonds do you want on your team next year? Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 5, just whatever that number is for you. And then bringing on new customers. What is your Success Club bare minimum going to be every single month next year? For me, it's 20. Might be 10 for you, might be 12. Maybe it's 6. I don't know. It just depends on what your goals are. And the bigger your goal, the bigger these numbers are going to be. The smaller your goal, the smaller these numbers are going to be. And there's no right or wrong, because it's really just depending on what you want in this business. Are we good so far? Yeah? Okay, cool. Now you're going to take those things, the recruit coaches, help leaders, create leaders, and consistently bring in new customers, and break them down further. So let's look at the first one. If we want to recruit new coaches monthly, you're going to ask yourself, what are some things I can do to recruit new coaches monthly? Because it's really hard to just say, I'm going to recruit 10 coaches and then have no plan of how the hell you're going to do it. So you want to take each of those priorities and break them down. What are some things I can do? What are some actions I can take? What are some things that I can host, or, what can I do with my social media to achieve that goal, to recruit 10 coaches? Maybe it's hosting bi-monthly coach info sessions, or sneak peeks. That's the same thing. Maybe it's doing a challenge group, like business opportunity call with your challenge group. Maybe it's posting about the business, 2 to 3 times a week. If you're not posting about it, you're not going to grow, because people don't know they can join you. Maybe you want to start an email marketing campaign or a newsletter. Maybe you're going to go live on your Facebook or your Instagram at least once a week, talking about something about coaching. Maybe you're going to present the coaching opportunity to all of your new clients. These are just some examples of things I kind of brainstorm very quickly. There are lots of other things that you can do, but I just have them on there. So the next one, I didn't do all of these because I wanted to kind of maybe do them on the call, but if you want to help leaders create leaders, what are some things that you could do to do that? Like to help your coaches have coaches, hit Emerald. What are some things that maybe you think would be good for that one? Does anyone have any ideas of what a coach could do?
I know they like Emily Fiver, whatever, she does that dash to Emerald. So like with all of her new coaches. So like if we did that like once or twice a month or something like that.
Yeah, so you can host like little push groups to help your coaches rank advance, right? You could do 3-way calls. You could hop on a call like this with your coach and someone on your team that you just brought on and help them. Maybe you can do incentives. You can do little chat pods. Like there's a million different things that you can do to help your coaches grow their teams too. And then consistently bringing in new customers. we could post on our stories and do little like the list with like 10 spots. We can be inviting every day. You know, we can be following up every day. We could be, you know, going through our story viewers, looking at people who are viewing our posts, going back to people who told us no last year, you know, going back to people who told us no 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, doing that, rinsing and repeating, and doing that consistently throughout the year. Every quarter, go back to the people from last quarter who told you no and invite them again. Like, these are things to continue to bring on new people. And I'm sure there's a whole plethora of other things too. But once you have your 3 priorities, it's important to take the time to break them down so you know like the what you're going to actually do. Are we good so far? Yeah? Okay. Then what you're going to do is take those things that you just, those activities, and you're going to break down your month, your week, and your days. So monthly, weekly, daily, what are some things that you can do? So monthly, what are some things that you can do to, let's say, recruit new coaches? Maybe every month you're going to schedule 2 sneak peeks every month, right? Non-negotiable. Maybe you are going to every month, the 3rd week of the month, reach out to all your challengers and the ones who are not coaches and ask them if they would like to become a coach to receive 25% discount, or ask them, you know, go through your challenge group every month and see who's showing up and see who literally is coaching but not getting paid, and tell them that and get them enrolled as a coach. Maybe monthly you can do a social media audit on your social media and see how many times have I actually talked about coaching? How many times have I posted about it? Then you're going to do the same thing. And there's lots of other things. I'm just kind of giving you a couple ideas. Then you want to look at weekly. What are some things you can do weekly? Maybe post about coaching twice a week. Maybe go live once a week. You know, clean your inbox out. That would be a daily thing, I would say. Daily you can invite. Daily you can, you know, make sure that you check in with your team. Make sure that you check into the team page, like whatever it is for you. And everyone's goals are different, like I said, and yours are going to look different than mine. But when you have all these things, you want to plug them into your calendar so that you know what you're doing every month, every week, and every day. And then the last thing is, I really want you guys to pick a word to live by. Now, I do this every year. I have done this every year for the past 5 years. And some of my previous words of the year have been conviction. I did simplify one year. I had embrace. I also did, last year was restore. And then halfway through the year, since my life changed, I changed my word and I made it revive. And I'm still working on my word of the year for 2020. I'm toying between a couple right now. But the importance of having a word of the year just really helps you, you know, have a clear vision and a clear path for where you want to go. And also, every decision you make that year, you're going to do so with, you know, that word in mind. So some things that I'm kind of looking at are maybe fear, or not fear, trust or surrender, like things like that, you know, letting go, or, you know, maybe abundance, like different things that are going to really keep you focused, keep you grounded. Grounded is a great word. Actually have a list of words if you need something for inspiration to go through. But once you figure out that word, you're going to take that word and you're going to put it right in the middle of your vision board. So it's like the center focus of your board. And then all of the other things that you want to do are going to go around it. Then going back to that impact, you want to really think about that. What impact do you want to make this year? What kind of value do you want to add to your followers? What do you want to add to the world? How do you want people to feel when they come to your page? That's super, super important. And then the last one, what fear are you going to ditch in 2020? So maybe you are still kind of like, about posting and you're afraid of what people are going to think. That's a good fear to get rid of because that's holding you back. You know, maybe you're afraid to go live on Facebook. That's a great fear to get rid of in 2020 because it's holding you back. Anything that is a fear that you have revolving around this business, it's always holding you back from what's possible. So I want you to pick one, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's inviting people you don't know. Maybe it's speaking on your stories. You know, we're all at different levels in this business. We all have different fears. Maybe you don't even like recording yourself working out. You feel like that makes you fearful. Maybe you're going to toss that out in 2020. Maybe you got a whole bucket load of fears you're going to dump out all at once. I mean, that would be amazing, but just really pick one at least and make sure every day that you're consciously like not letting that fear dictate what you do that day, because fears are going to, only thing that they do is hold you back. They do not help you in any way. You know, we think that they protect us from what could happen, but they really don't help us evolve at all. And then you're going to create your vision board, and that's the fun part. You know, you take that big brain dump that you did, you know, now you know what your main big focus is. You've got your word. You know what fears you're ditching, you know what impact you want to make, and you create something that looks a little bit like this. Now, this was mine from last year. You know, it says 2019 on it. I've got my word in the middle, and I've got all the things that I wanted to accomplish in 2019. Now, that doesn't mean that they all happened. A lot of them didn't, you know, because life happens and you can't control what happens in your life, but you can control how you react to it, and you can control, you know, the way you respond to it. And, you know, there are some things that did happen, some things that didn't. A lot of things on here I'm going to take and put on my vision board for 2020 and go for it again. There are some things that have been on my vision board for 5 years that haven't happened yet. But that doesn't mean I give up on it. And that doesn't mean I stop working towards my goals because I missed it. You know, it means I keep going. And you're going to always 100% of the time hit your goal if you don't stop. But if you stop and you quit and you give up on yourself, you're 100% of the time going to miss it. So you can add anything you want to your board, you know, anything that inspires you. Maybe you have little quotes or little motivational things that really keep you going. Maybe you have a prayer or something you want to add to it. But what I really want you to do too is not only just keep it on your computer, but also put it on your phone. Put it on the screen of your phone. That's something that you see every day, right? You look at your phone every single day. Put it on the lock screen of your phone, put it on your computer, put it on your iPad or whatever devices that you have. Maybe print it out, hang it on your refrigerator, put it on your bathroom mirror, and just really make the effort to continue to look at it. This is something that takes time to make, and you don't want to just make it and then forget about it. You want to make it and remember why you're showing up every day, and it's going to remind you when you see it every single day. So that's all I have as far as slides go and like best practices for, you know, creating your board, setting goals. But so I'm going to stop the recording here because the rest of the call we're just going to spend doing the things and making our boards and hanging out and just enjoying this night together. We've got like maybe 25 minutes or so to do that, and obviously you're not going to finish it in 25 minutes. But it will give you a little head start, and then it's something that you can finish tonight or maybe tomorrow before you go out for New Year's Eve. Just have it all figured out what you want to do, and you can wake up on January 1st rocking and ready to go. So yeah, does anyone have any questions or anything?